Over the last few years, I've put together quite a few desk setups, and I noticed an overarching trend. Some items just kept repeatedly showing up in these videos. So I thought, why not share why I think these things are so useful and why I just keep buying them and using them. So let's talk about the most useful desk accessories that I use almost every single day. Some of these items are pretty common, but maybe there's a reason that they're so popular in the first place and are on my own list of must-haves. And some of these will need a huge explanation, or I'm just gonna look like some sort of weirdo. Okay, so let's start with an easy one so that I don't look that way. The Elgato Stream Deck. This thing is my favorite computer accessory overall. Elgato sells different variations of it in different sizes, but my favorite one is what I'm holding right here, the Stream Deck Plus, because you get dials for even further customizations to whatever it is you're trying to control. Now you may think, Jimmy, I'm not a streamer, I'm not a gamer, I don't need this. With this device, I look like I'm trying to be some sort of DJ or I'm trying to be an airplane pilot. Well, let me show you something cool. That's right, I just changed the lights, the blinds, and the fan in this room with just the touch of a few buttons. The Stream Deck can do so much more than open programs, adjust volume levels, or run macros from your computer. It can control your smart home and even customize the icons to be whatever you want. This thing is a lot more useful than just for the gaming focused crowd. There's a whole list of Stream Deck plugins that you can download and tweak to fit your needs exactly. It's such a game changer for anyone who has to sit on their ass in a seat for 8 hours a day. If you haven't had the chance to check these out, I really recommend trying them. Well, as long as you got a good hour or two to tinker around with it. You could get permanently lost in these. I'd put these on every single desk if I had time to tinker them all. Okay, so this next one is one of those hear me out ones, one of the weird ones. All right, so please keep an open mind for this one. The Super Clamp. So as someone who makes content on YouTube, I do end up watching a decent amount of videographers on YouTube just so that I know what type of tweaks and adjustments that I should be thinking of in my own YouTube space. And a lot of them recommend these things, these super clamps. And for the longest time, I didn't understand why. Like, I understood that they were useful, but they can't be that useful, right? But after I bought one of these, I quickly understood why. These things clamp to any surface. Circular, flat, it doesn't matter. If it can grip it, it can stick it. There's a baby pin socket so you can connect to accessories like lights, cameras, mics, or whatever you feel like with a threaded mount. While these are mainly used for photo and video work, I found it really useful to clamp accessories to my desk setups. They're super useful, especially if you're limited in space that you can mount things to. Even Elgato has their own clamp, and even though that's not a super clamp, you can get these little flex arms to go with it that makes mounting things more like a set of Legos than a whole engineering marvel. What I'm saying is, it doesn't necessarily have to be a super clamp, but get some flexible mounting options because it's very versatile. It helps you keep your stuff tied down exactly where you want them to be. But of course, every desk setup isn't complete without a webcam, like from today's sponsor, OBSBOT and their Meet 2 webcam. This is a 4K webcam that costs $129 USD. It does pretty well in low light environments, and it comes in 3 different colors to better blend in with your own personal desk setup. It comes with an adjustable stand that just magnetically attaches to it, and it even has threaded mounts so you can mount it to other things like that arm. And you can mount it in any orientation to easily record horizontal or vertical videos, so good for any platform. The coolest thing about this webcam is that it's got some software features built directly into their app. OBSBOT Sensor for more versatility like AI auto framing, gesture control to adjust the camera, and image adjustments to make sure that the shot is always perfect. And if you're just like me and like to keep your Mac closed, which disables the mic on your laptops, the OBSBOT Meet 2 has built-in dual mics you can use for video calls. Maybe it's just me, but I'm the type to get paranoid of leaving webcam cameras exposed. Luckily, the Meet 2 has a magnetic cover to just quickly block the camera when you're not using it. So if you're interested in the OBSBOT Meet 2, check out the link in the video description below for more information about their current spring sale on this, where you can get 21% off and an additional 5% off if you use offer code Jimmy. And thanks again to OBSBOT for sponsoring this portion of the video. Charging things at your desk can be kind of a pain. You got a smartwatch, wireless earbuds, a phone, and even your mouse and keyboard require charging if they're wireless. That's potentially 5 different cables that you need if, worst case scenario, everything needs to be charged at the same time. That's a huge mess of cable. So to cut down on cable clutter, I usually get a 3-in-1 wireless charger to charge all of my mobile-like devices at once. I've tried quite a few of them. I keep buying more. Please, somebody help me. But my favorite one so far is this one from Anker that has an adjustable MagSafe puck for iPhone charging, a standard Qi charging pad, and a little Apple Watch charger too. This way, all your mobile devices can be charged off a single charging pad, and you can just quickly disconnect your devices and not leave a mess of cables behind. This one's my favorite because of these adjustable stands. Some of these wireless charging pads either have very flimsy feeling stands or no stand at all, leaving your stuff either standing up or laying flat and nowhere in between. So this charging pad gives me the option to choose between laying my phone flat or up and sideways to access standby mode, whichever I feel like in the moment. We can all agree that custom keyboards are pretty cool, right? You get a chance to create something that's tailored exactly to how you want it, as long as you have the budget to back it up. My firm belief is that most people would be perfectly satisfied getting 90 to 95% there if it meant that they had to put in way less effort on their part. And that's why I really like the Keychron Q1 line of keyboards. You get a very premium and hefty feeling keyboard that sounds and feels nice to type on. Has Windows and macOS keyboard layouts. You can connect it with a USB-C cable or up to 3 different Bluetooth devices. There's even color changeable backlit keys, and the switches underneath are hot swappable. So if you don't like how the button presses look or feel anymore, you can customize it exactly how you want it. It's an almost perfect keyboard. But if I were to point out one main complaint about this keyboard though, is that if you work a typical 9 to 5 job, the battery lasts just a few days before needing to be plugged in to charge again. But as a whole, I end up using this keyboard the most because between you and me, I've been putting off building a completely custom one for myself because it does take a bit of time and research to find exactly what I want. So this is my favorite for a quick and easy, no hassle keyboard right out of the box. It is a bit pricey, but well worth it if you want something nicer than your average keyboard. And on this one, I've already switched out the keys. While this list is primarily a list of recommendations, I actually have an anti-recommendation, something that I suggest you don't purchase. See, if you're not a gamer or a content creator, I really don't see the value or need to worry about having a great mic. Unless, of course, you're speaking to someone who's hearing impaired, in which case, by all means, do whatever makes that person comfortable. But for those of you that aren't working with someone or talking to someone who's hearing impaired, I don't think the person you're on a Teams call with or your friends on Discord will mind your mic all that much unless it's an absolute staticky piece of crap. Okay, so quick little story time. At one point, I was using a Shure SM7B on team calls. You know, the mic people use on podcasts. This is because I had it already hooked up to my laptop workstation for my YouTube usage. And it started off great. People were very complimentary of the mic quality. But after a few days, nobody said anything anymore. And when I finally switched to just using the mic on my wireless earbuds or directly from my laptop, they didn't care either. Because if you're not in a profession where sound quality significantly matters, middle of the pack audio is fine, as long as it's not straight garbage. So yeah, my advice is don't go overboard there. It's nice, but your current favorite pair of earbuds or your webcam's speakers are probably fine. Just be sure to test them out by recording some audio of yourself talking and determine if you need something better. Okay, all modern laptops use USB-C for everything, and oftentimes have very few ports beyond that USB Type-C port. And because of that, you really could develop a one cable solution for your desk setup, where you just sit down and plug in one cable by using a USB-C dock. With a USB-C dock, you can plug your laptop into a single USB-C cable that charges your laptop, gives it access to a second or third monitor, provides Ethernet, and provide a bunch of other ports like USB-A ports, SD card slots, or, you know, a headphone jack if you want. What I'm saying is you can get back any port that you want if you can find the right dock for it. There's so many docks out there, and I can't really recommend one size fits all because how you use your desk could be really different than what I use my desk for. Basically, just find the one that has all the ports that you need, make sure it supports charging your laptop, and you're good to go. If you use a Mac, I do like this Ivanki one. It's kind of expensive and it's technically a 2-cable solution because it takes up 2 USB Type-C ports, but this thing has been solid for me. But I'll also leave some other recommendations down in the video description below. Sometimes you might be lucky and already own a monitor that has those capabilities built directly into them. And if you don't have to buy a dock, even better. That cleans up your desk space even more. Just rely on the monitor. But if your monitors don't have it, don't worry, a dedicated dock is the next best thing. So here's my last piece of advice. I wanted to leave this piece specifically for the end because I want to talk more about some things you can do that don't involve buying something. Something I've been trying to do more often is add some personality to my desk spaces, like including interesting books, paperweights, figures, souvenirs, whatever just sparks some sort of emotion. But a clean desk with nothing on it, to me, feels like a robot lives there, no matter how nice it is and how minimal it is. So I included this bit just as a reminder for you to ignore that sense of instant gratification of purchasing something new, and remember to make your space feel more personal instead of just focusing solely on the technical aspects of it. On my own desk, I leave the camera I've been using lately, a fake plant, some books I had around the house, and this little Dragonite figurine I got out of a blind box during my trip to Japan. Now, I'll be honest, he was not my first pick, but he definitely blends in nicely here. I think these little items make the space feel a lot more human and not a generic DALL-E render. Okay, so that's all the little desk accessories and some advice that I think makes using my desk setup just a little nicer for myself. These are all things I picked up over the last few years, and I hope the things that I brought up helps you put together your own setup too. I'm curious to hear what you deem an essential part of your own setups besides the obvious monitor, mouse, and keyboard. It doesn't even have to be tech related. Genuinely, I'm just trying to tweak my own desk, so I'm open to seeing if there's anything new I can pick up on too. So I'd like to hear your thoughts. Leave all that down in the comment section below, and I'll see you all next time. Bye.